This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Saints Pod. My name is Greg, and as always today joined by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach. And mate, a win on the road with a clean sheet. What way to go through the weekend? Can you believe it?
We scored our 6,000th goal as a club. We kept our first clean sheet since the game against the first away clean sheet since the game against Fulham in the Premier League, which was like that really boring 0-0 that everybody agreed like paint drying would have been more interesting, right? That was a wild stat to hear. Perez had both a good game and awful game at the same time. Bass was in attendance and sat with the home end, which I guess makes sense. We looked at the team sheet and realised that we were missing 2 strikers, and it turns out after having an abundance of strikers, we might end up with one who's barely fit. That was a bit of a overshadow for the whole thing, but Finners has got back to scoring. Turns out he needed a little bit of a confidence booster. Flynn Down scored the worst goal I've ever seen. In the worst goal I think I've literally ever seen, and somehow I was like, man, that's the scrappy goal I want to see. All of them went for the ball, suddenly realised they didn't know where the ball was, and you just watch it roll in as he realised, I've still got it.
What I really enjoyed from that goal, the Flynn Downs, is that it obviously gave him a spark of confidence, because the next run of play, the ball came out to him on the edge of the box and he took a swing at it with a shot, and he proved why he does not shoot often. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well,
it was good. It was the type of performance that we've been expecting basically all season, right?
It's so annoying because it shows it's there. That's what's so frustrating about this. Is it's it's there, but also for all of the people that have said maybe we should stop doing a back five. It's maybe we should stop doing a back five. Also, Bree, one of our best defenders, Wellington, proving
why did we ever send him out on loan? I mean, I questioned it at the time, and the form he has been in since he came back really just goes to show he is comfortably our best right back. And I think Wellington is doing an excellent job, and is doing a better job than Manning was managing. And I think that it is due to the shape, right? Because we saw Wellington play as a sort of a wing back in a back five, and it was spotty. But if you're not naturally a wing back, you're not going to know, am I supposed to be a winger at this point, or am I supposed to be a fullback? Stick him in a back four where he's a natural fullback, and he was excellent.
Greg, are you telling me? Is the statement that you're making that if you play players in the positions that they expect to be in, they do better? Is that what's happening?
And that's crazy, isn't it? It is almost it's insane. But it's it's almost like you go back to a sensible formation that everybody is used to playing football in, and suddenly it starts coming together. And it was,
to be fair, until it doesn't, right? And that's when they start messing things around again. But
it was controlled. It was at no point in the game did I really feel at risk. I mean, we still played ourselves into a couple of spotty situations.
Yes, for sure.
And it was Stoke also were particularly poor. But it was just even against teams that have been that poor for the rest of the season, we've not managed a consistent performance as good as that.
No.
Where it was just comfortable, just done. 2-0, bish, bash, bosh.
A goal either side, a clean sheet match to... I mean, Perez tried to undo that a couple of times. Almost the howler of the year, and I know it's only the start, but he
also made 2 excellent saves. Yeah. So
that's what I mean. It's a bit I don't know. There's something Boric about him, right? I don't know. That's how I felt right, where sometimes Boric would do the most ridiculous things, and then also somehow pull off a worldie, and you're like, I don't think I figured you out, and that's kind of where I'm at with him. And obviously, it was a bit shaky. I'm not going to lie. And obviously, Stoke hit the post at one point, right? And that was probably the only moment I really felt. And I tell a lie, the scramble in the box after a set piece where like everyone at one point we had 8 players around one player, and Flynn Downs trying to be goalkeeper once again. Like set piece is not really helping us much.
No,
But
I
yeah,
mean that's the sort of thing that we should be working on, right? And
for sure.
it was still scrappy, but we got it through. We got it over the line. But look, you're right. There's lots to talk about from the very beginning. So let's take it all the way back to the team sheets. Now, an 11 that I was perfectly happy with, content with, that we almost called player for player, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, we said Bree, we said Bellington, we said I think I at one point you said let's not change the centre backs. I missed that entirely, so I asked you, and then again, and you said yeah, let's just change the centre backs. We agreed on that. We would have been happy with literally any combination of the midfield, and it was Yander and Downs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you talked about potentially starting somebody else and having two strikers at the same time, which is the thing you've called for since the dawn of time. However, we might not even have 2 strikers come the end of come the next episode of this podcast.
but the thing is that even although we didn't have 2 strikers, the actual system that we played today, at the times that it worked as well, because when the ball was coming up for Stewart to have to drop back to do the hold up play, Azaz from his number 10 was pushing up to be the striker, or either Fellows or Cienza were tucking in to be the other striker. So it worked because there was a rotation and there was no sort of easy way for Stoke to see it out. And I mean, there was some fantastic passing from Harwood Bellis. He obviously, the obvious one was the one he put through for the goal, but also one that he put Cienza through, who then in turn played an incredible ball across to Fellows, who almost got that goal that I've been egging him on for the entire time, right? It wasn't for a fantastic save.
Hope that that's not just a really good performance from Taylor Harwood Bellis to feed into transfer rumours, because if you listen to the rumours that have come out in like the last 2 days, I don't think we're going to have a squad left come Monday.
Look, I heard that there was a bid for him, which is perhaps reasonable, but the bid wasn't anywhere close to our expectations of what we'd be willing to sell him for. So, and I think it's another one of those things, right, where he's as valuable as he is to us. So, if you want to come in and pay 70 million for him, sure, that's going to make anyone bat an eyelid. But but if you're not going to get close, I think I read the offer was about 12 million and was basically laughed out of the room. So, it is what it is. I don't think he'll be going anywhere. And then, like you say, the other thing from the team sheets that was notable, Armour and Archer out. Armour out after taking a knock in training yesterday, according to Tonda. One might presume that maybe it was a knock on the door from his agent, but we'll...
no smoke without fire, mate, is one way that somebody summed it up pretty well. And I kind of have to concur. It might be that I don't feel in the right headspace, even though, I don't know, with Archer,
even if he's planning on staying and we're expecting him to stay and we're batting away bids, that still is probably not a great headspace to come in with the focus required, and it sort of is what it is, and fine. And Archer, we've seen sort of stronger links with certain clubs, and Tonda confirmed after the game that there's been conversations about his future, and I think there's talk of letting him go to bring someone else in, and that's fine.
It's kind of right. He's not been what we wanted.
Yeah. And losing both of them would be insane.
Yeah,
losing Armstrong and making Archer the de facto first or second choice striker, because we know that Ross Stewart is not going to be fit enough to play every minute of the season, would be brave. So yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one. And I guess that's all the sort of stuff we've got to look forward to as we head into deadline day and sort of prep for our last transfer episode of January coming up. But
I'm kind of don't necessarily agree with that. I think we should be keeping Armour. We shouldn't be letting him go. And I think that if Archer goes, it's like so long, farewell. Thank you for your service, but also I don't think it's a disaster for us. I think he's probably by the sign of it made up his mind. He's not getting any younger, and his career at the moment is that he barely plays a bit part realistically. If you want to come, I don't think you want to spend your entire career coming and making substitution appearances at the end of games. Or the problem that he's had is that when he has been given an opportunity, it's never really paid off. It's not like if he's been given a full 90 minutes, not chances are he's not going to score. Where Armour, it's entirely patches where he scores. But yeah, both of them going is insane. I think Armour going would be a huge problem, regardless. I think Archer going, Armour staying. I don't think much changes realistically now that Stewart's fit again. Just depends if he can stay fit. But both of them going and relying on a man who has had 2 to 3 major injuries in the last 2 to 3 years.
It would be genuinely insane. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And then also, not to leave it out, even though he wasn't in the team sheet and we've not talked about him forever, news this afternoon that apparently Joe Aribo to Leicester. So again, we'll talk all about this deadline day, but I feel like this might get lost, mate, because of how much has happened and how much potentially could happen, right? So
look, he's a wage that's not contributing to the team that will be off our books. Great, whatever. It is what it is.
So it made it made the fact that the team sheet was a little bit different. I didn't expect Nick to be in the team. I wonder how long they've known. Right? Has it been a week? Is it like yesterday? Because the team comp was definitely different to what I expected it to be. But look, paid off, didn't it? It's worked.
Yeah, it was good, and it was nice. It was nice.
Cienza got fit enough to play. That was good.
Yeah, it was great. But all of it was good. Even the substitutes were good. Shea Charles, when he came on, was fitted in absolutely fine. Just did his job solidly and did very good at it. Matsky came on and didn't quite make an attacking impact, but to be honest, that kind of phase of the game had died down for us. We were just sort of cruising at that point and getting forward a bit, but not too worried. Nice to see Oyakunle get on the pitch, to be honest. I did raise at half-time that it was potentially a concern having him as the sort of only real attacking option as a striker to come on, knowing that Stewart wasn't going to make the full 90.
Yeah, my assumption is that it would be him and Robinson that came on. You did express your concern, but it's good to get the minutes, right? And for someone that's been so prolific for us in the under-21s, again,
absolutely.
Sometimes we have proven that you can convert some people from youth football into sort of first team football without having to go through the path of loan out to League One, loan out to League Two, etc.
Yeah, definitely. And there were points earlier in the season where we were absolutely crying out for him to get game time. And like I say, the biggest concern was you don't really want to bring him on in a position where you have to score a goal here because that is what we need as a team. But thankfully, that's not the position that presented itself. We came out in the second half, we put away a set piece, and then it was, not quite cruise control because it's 2-0 still a slightly scary score, but it was as comfortable as 2-0 gets, to be honest. We didn't look in any real danger. We were still creating a bit, and it's good for him to get minutes in that circumstance. And then, of course, Fellows off for Manning for 3 minutes for stoppage time. Whatever. Pointless for all involved, but wasted those 30 seconds for the substitution, didn't it? So
and a good game for Finazaz as well. Considering as we said, we talked about it quite a lot. Sort of, it kind of feels a bit weird. And maybe it's to do with his stoicism, and maybe it's the fact that you said his game is slightly more unattractive. But when it pays off, and that was a solid goal for him today. and he seemed to be enjoying it a little bit more. So yeah, it was just a highly enjoyable game, mate. It was just fun to watch. It's been a while, but then I kind of agree with. I feel bad for Stoke a little bit, and Mark Robbins said that they didn't really have to do much to beat them. But like, not really. Like, it wasn't the hardest game I've seen us break into, right?
No,
not gonna lie.
It was can
only beat what's in front of you, mate. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's also very true. And like I said, it's the sort of game where we've played teams that have struggled and have looked as sort of struggling as Stoke did today, and we've not done enough to put them away, or scored first and thought we've done it, and then just done something really stupid and gifted it away. And it's nice that we didn't do that. And yeah, I just think it was nice that the kind of across the board, everyone just seemed to step up their game just a bit. I think every single player in that starting 11 had a good game. Stevens was excellent. Like I say, Harwood Bellis was solid defensively and creative going forward. Breeze clearly the best right back we've got. It's just everyone on the pitch. Yander was getting himself in positions. Man, there was one part in the first half where he just absolutely whipped a ball across the 6-yard box. And unfortunately, there was just not a Saints shirt in sight. But that's exactly the sort of cutting edge we've been looking for all of this time. Just across the board. And you're right that you said at the start. It's frustrating a bit because where has that been for all of the games prior?
It's so hard to. I think the problem is it's frustrating, and I want to. There's so much going on and so much noise around the club at the moment. Anyway, it is hard not to take the face value of we knew this was going to be really vital. We had people say in the week, this is a potential 6-pointer. We really, really wanted them to show some drive after the Pompey game, and they have 7 points, 9 in the last 3 games. It's great. That's where we want to be. That's where we should have been for a lot of this season. Is it going to carry on forever? We don't know, but it's nice to see. It's just hoping that it's progress, because that's, I think, the most frustrating thing is you point out is that we have these this purple patch. It's this is great, and then we just throw it all away again for a couple of games, and then everyone gets sad, and everyone and then obviously the mood in general plummets. And it's so up and down and up and down and up and down. It's really hard to keep that up consistently,
Yeah, exactly. It is, and that's what's made it such a sort of bumpy season. Exactly that. And
not just for us either, to be clear. But I think if you look at the state of the championship, I was trying to have a conversation with my wife on the way, popped to the shop earlier, and she was just like, "Wait, what do you mean that you're potentially we're 13th?" I was like, "When you are 17th, 18th?" I'm like, "That's the championship." Coventry are now on the same amount of points as Middlesbrough. Hull are third. It's a wild league. It is a tough league.
Yeah.
And I think again but that also plays into the frustration, because if we were able to keep consistent, I don't think we would have a problem being in the high up the league right now. But
no,
swings around.
But that's it. Let's hope that's what we've got from here on in. We kick on, we take confidence, and we build on it game after game. And that isn't to say that we're going to win every game. I'm sure there'll be slip ups on the way, but hopefully that this is what we can take from it. That this is the team and the confidence, and hopefully after Monday, when all of the transfer noise goes away until the end of the season anyway, we can sort of settle in and just get our head down. And people at the club have still come out as recently as this week. Stevens came out and said promotion's still the goal, which is fine. If that's the case, that's fine. But if that is what you want, we basically have to win every game at this point.
But I also pointed out that they have to show it, and they did. So
yeah, exactly.
Just got to get behind them and hope it all goes all right. And then it's not going to take away from all of the, I wouldn't say focus, but take away from all of the circumstances floating around Sports Republic in general, and the general malaise at the moment of being a Southampton fan. But it might be a little bit of an antidote for it for a small amount of time.
Yeah,
and it must be good for the players as well. It's the other thing.
Nothing appeases a hurting mind more than a few wins on the bounce and a bit of excitement and a bit of flair, and even goals as rubbish as Flynn Downs is just nice to be part of.
I think it was beautiful. It was glorious. What
Puskas Award in waiting
is a scrappy, horrific goal that I don't think anybody expected. Flynn Downs didn't expect to score it. Stoke didn't expect the ball to even be there. Oh, beautiful. One of the things I did want to make a point of, because what do you think of the ref for that game, Greg? I know we don't talk about it much anymore, because ever since we've been out of the Premier League, it's been wonderful. Because, to be honest, when it's the ref missed that, but it is what it is. At least we didn't have to have VAR. It's kind of glossed over. But you made a couple of stark comments to me throughout us watching that game.
I think, so to start off with, I didn't realise until I saw it on a Facebook page, not a Saints Facebook page, just a generic football Saints Facebook. He's the same referee that in his Premier League debut last week ignored the advice of VAR on a Man City penalty and turned it over, right?
Is that why he's back in the Championship?
Quite possibly.
Could well be, isn't it? Right.
Now, I think he was rubbish. Right. Let's lay out a few of the decisions and sort of justify that with a thought.
I knew I'd pop you off with this.
Here we go. So of the obvious one that people are going to point to is Finn Azaz getting booked for simulation. Now, I don't think it was a penalty. I'll come out and say, which might be controversial as a Saints fan. I don't know. There wasn't enough contact for me. I also don't think it was a booking for diving. I think it was he got tripped up. The problem is the way that he's gone down is theatrical, and he sort of, clearly made the referee's mind up that way.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, mate. Fellows got criticised for staying on his feet a couple of weeks ago. You can't win with this situation. I feel like if they feel contact, they go down. If they try and stay up, they're going to lose the ball, and then it'll end up being a goal kick. So it's kind of what do you do? Yeah. If you just throw yourself to the floor without any contact whatsoever, yeah, of course. But if it's I think maybe it's because he slightly made a meal of it. And I don't even really think he made a massive meal of it, but it was more straight away he came over with a yellow. And
no, not a booking for simulation for me, but also probably not a penalty. And in an effort to try and look at it objectively. There was one slightly after that where Leo got completely pushed off the ball in the face, which was a much clearer penalty that got given as goal kick. There was another one as well. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but he was just wildly inconsistent. And then he would let a load of tackles go, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I like a physical tackle. I like a physical game. That works for me. And then all of a sudden he's brandishing yellow cards here, there, and everywhere for absolutely nothing out of the blue, and then books Peretz for time wasting, which I don't even think he particularly was, to be honest. He was just
then he went back. Well, we've already seen that he struggles a little bit distribution wise, so he's just trying to get it on. And then obviously when he was rushed, he ended up sending it straight to a Stoke player. So
it's just like I've seen even if he was time wasting, and keepers are very guilty of that. It is much less egregious than a lot of the time wasted I've seen from just about everybody else in the Championship the rest of the season. Like he wasn't properly laying it on thick. He was just lining himself up to kick the ball. And it was inconsistent. And then there was some where he'd let it go to a high level of physicality, and then somewhere he'd give a free kick for seemingly nothing. And I thought it was rubbish. But it is what it is, isn't it? At least we won.
Yeah, you said words to the effect of, and then I'm pretty sure this is the one you've forgotten, which is, I mean, if Azaz is simulation, then that definitely is as well. I think it was the other end that was
that's it, right? Yeah,
where he didn't get booked for it.
Who hop, skipped, and jumped his way into the box to try and get a penalty, right? That was.
Would you trade it if you had a competent referee but VAR was there?
No, absolutely not.
So he's right about it. This is the thing, right? We've had a couple of moments this season, like handballs and this, that, and the other. And yeah, it's frustrating, and yeah, you can kind of blame the ref for it, but it's not having to sit there for 20 minutes while they decide by committee if someone's like little finger results in an offside. So
to still get it wrong quite often.
And somehow Flynn Downs avoided a booking out of all of that.
that in itself is a miracle, because in the first half alone, he had 4 where I went, well, this is the one where he gets booking. He stayed out of the book for the entire game somehow. A miracle to everybody, I think.
It's the first time as well where we've had we played like an injury stricken side, right, or an injury depleted side, where we're like, oh, it's there for the taking, and usually what that means is they go on to beat us. But yeah, all of the rules we broke today were our own ones. Again, 6,000th goal for the club, clean sheets. It's nice to break our own records for good things rather than breaking everybody else's records, right? There wasn't a lone striker that's not scored in 27 games that needed to come on and get a goal. It was just a good, solid win from a team that looked a little bit more together than it's looked previously this season.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. Let's do it again next week. Clean sheet. Nice win. More of the same. Yes, please.
Yeah. Watford lost today, and they're, I think, our next opponents, right? So that'll be nice. Hopefully we can build on the momentum. Crazy.
Well, that's something that we've been hoping for a couple of seasons now, mate. So we'll see. That's for sure. But look, it's nice. A game of football, an early game of football in the weekend that has made the rest of the weekend that much sweeter.
100%, mate.
What a lovely place to be, and not something we've said a lot of recently, that's for sure. But it's great. But that's it. That is all we've got time for today. Thank you, Zach, as always, for joining me. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back with our deadline day special Tuesday morning with the latest breaking news on all of the transfers in, out, and otherwise. Absolutely everywhere. Until then, though, let us know in the socials how you're feeling. How much confidence does that win give you for the rest of the season? That's what I'd like to know. Let us know in the comments on the socials with Daily Saints Pod everywhere on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, Blue Sky. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know in the comments. And we love hearing from you. Like I say, we'll be back Tuesday to talk all the good transfer stuff. But until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you then.
This is the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg. And that was the Daily Saints Pod with Zach and Greg. Enjoy your weekend!